Yo.
Hey, happy Thursday.
What's going on, y'all?
Hope your week is going great.
Yeah, buddy. So check it out. We didn't do one last week.
On purpose.
Yeah, we didn't forget.
No,
we did.
We would never. That's crazy.
Our
production team got it.
Right. Their production team, they got these lined up, and they got a certain order that they put them in. But we talking about Grand Boulevard. This one was very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, because before this episode, if you ask me where is Grand Boulevard?
Yeah. Which is part of Bronzeville, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Bronzeville is in everything.
It is, pretty much. Now, here's the cool thing about Grand Boulevard. This was one of our more layered episodes. Not necessarily talked about in this layer, but it kind of paved the way for a lot of wormhole digging down the years. Grand Boulevard is the old Martin Luther King Drive, what it used to be called.
Yeah.
So,
and this episode, when we went to the restaurant that we went to, we learned about the fact that Chicago has a copy of the Green Book. And we kind of went down that rabbit hole, which if you listened last month, you would have heard the rerun of the Vivian G. Hirsch collection, which houses the copies of the Green Book. So go back and check that out if you want to learn more about specifically the collection.
Yep.
We do have an episode on the Green Book if you want to learn specifically about that. But that is where that started. And I feel like this was a really good episode. We did wait 75 hours for our food, but that's neither here nor there.
we did.
We went on, I think, on a weekend, so it was
that
like
food was smacking.
It was
though.
So good.
That shit was smacking, boy.
I know there's beef between the different chicken and waffle houses.
I can't remember if we talked about it in this episode. I think we brought it up.
I think we did because the manager the owner was telling us about like a place in California or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Chicken waffle that started there. Very interesting. But go ahead, listen to it. This episode originally aired October 3rd, 2022. Y'all, go ahead and enjoy it.
Hey,
what's going on, everybody?
What's going on with you?
What's going on with you?
It's like that's not that portion of the episode.
Right, yeah, it's not. Beautiful day out here. October is
beautiful day in the
final 3 months. Final 3 months. How you feel?
Q4. I'm ready, baby.
Q4. We in the building. Outside.
We're actually outside the building.
Outside the building. Anyway, what's up, everybody?
What's our riddle for this week?
Stop it. The trivia.
Oh.
Goddamn trivia.
I keep forgetting.
You ain't forgetting.
Keep forgetting the word.
Here's the trivia for the day. Did you know? It's got to do with the time zones.
Is it a question or did you know?
It's just the did you know. It's just did you know?
The questions.
I know. I'm gonna bring it back, but this one is topical, I guess. Hey, did you know that the time zones were decided upon right here in Chicago?
Really?
Yeah. So, So y'all think about that before
as your seasonal depression sets in.
Yeah, right. We'll run our promo, and I'll tell you more about it after the break. 77 Flavors, Chicago, right now.
This is the podcast where we visit all 77 of Chicago's historic neighborhoods and discuss their heritage and taste the amazing food.
And if you know anything about us, we love two things, food and Chicago, so I can't wait to burn this gas money.
You ready?
Let's get it.
This is the 77 Flavors of Chicago, the podcast.
Hey. Now we back.
Now we back.
Chicago, how y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Thank you for that answer.
Wow. Do you want a radio show?
I do. I would like a radio show. Hell.
Guys, whoever's listening and has a radio show to spare,
put your boy on.
Just hand it over to Dario.
You know, I got you. I speak to the people. You know what I'm saying? The people. Mm-hmm. Before the break, I asked you, did you know that the time zones were decided upon here in Chicago? And here is
crazy.
Yeah, here's the history behind it. As the railroads expanded in the 19th century, so we're talking 1800s, trains had to keep relying on schedules with other cities, and other cities had different, ways they tracked what time it was. So, for example, noon in New York was 6 minutes, 7 minutes ahead of noon in Philadelphia. Because they said, they tracked by the sun, and that's how it was around the country. So there were about almost 50 different time zones in the United States
Really?
before this. Yes. In
That's a lot of time zones.
in 1883, all the heads of the railroad companies got together here in Chicago at the Grand Pacific Hotel, located at Jackson and LaSalle, for the General Time Convention. And that's where they said, hey, let's have a central timing zone so we can figure out, like, we know when we go in this region, this is where, this is what the time is. And that's how they came up with the time zones. Now, a little bit more history. In 1884, the year after that, actually, I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to come back to that. 1918, let's jump ahead real quick, is when Congress passed the law standardizing the time system.
That's interesting because who decided GMT then?
Somebody, the railroads that was over there.
No, but that's in London.
I mean,
where it starts.
Maybe they was like, you know what?
Times
They got good ideas
we
over
need
there
more
in America.
research. Come back next episode with more information.
Hey, look,
this,
this is
because I want to know more.
That's pretty good. We can do a little break in the middle of the week. We'll figure it out. 1884, the Grand Pacific Hotel that this meeting was held in
Turned into a clock.
It actually turned in close. It it was torn down the year after they made that decision.
Damn.
And it was turned into the Central Standard Building. Central Standard Building, and there's a plaque on the wall to commemorate what it is. Now, if you go in there, it is part of Open House Chicago, which we are also part of Open House Chicago. You can see us, if you listen.
Open House Chicago actually starts the month of October.
So the moment you listen to this.
The weekend that a lot of these sites are open is the weekend of the, after the 11th. So, is that the 15th? I believe is the weekend
15th,
of the 15th.
16th, yeah.
The 15th and 16th. Go on there and you'll see us. You'll see us under community partners, and we've recommended some places for you to go and check out. So look up the self-guided trails under the community partners, and you'll see our little trails in there.
Boom! Let's give ourselves a point for that one.
Look at this little bee doesn't want to.
Wow, that's crazy.
Adorable.
If you're watching this on YouTube, the bee was all up in the screen.
A bee was like, "This is my show now."
It's in high definition, 4K. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little injured today.
Sliced up.
I haven't cut myself with a knife in years.
Damn. That happens.
But yesterday I was cutting up a really big onion. I was making like a potato lentil soup. What?
I don't. That don't make sense.
That's
give myself.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah. I was cutting up a really big onion, and I was using like a 6-inch utility knife, which it's like your basic kitchen knife that you use for literally everything, and it's pretty small. The onion was like too big, and I should have used a bigger knife. I was also not paying attention. I wasn't like tucking my fingers, and I just sliced right through my middle and my ring finger.
You chopped them bad boys off.
And I bled for a minute. I was like, "Ooh, let me sit down." I still made the soup. We still had it for dinner.
Yeah, man, the soup was smacking too. Potato lentil.
It was really good.
Potato lentil.
It was like a curry potato lentil soup. Arabs love lentil. So
Dario loves lentil. That shit was good, y'all.
It was good.
it was good.
Yeah.
But
how was your week?
It's good. It's been a fun week. We did do those videos for Open House Chicago
Not
Architecture
last
Center.
minute.
We were on time. We were on time.
We did not.
But it was fun to do it this year. It was fun to do those this year because we knew what to expect. We know how to what they wanted to see, and we had a lot of talking points. Think about it. When we were doing that last year, we were
just starting.
We
were like, oh my god.
Yeah, so we had it was easy this year because I had footage, from me just going out taking photos
before.
Yeah, so it was pretty easy to do. And now we knew more to talk about, so it was actually really dope.
Yeah, we also went to the celebration for that award that Dion.
Yeah, the
innovation award. All I know is Dion is nominated. Whoops.
He's doing big things out here in Chicago.
Big things out here in Chicago. He is now top 100 for the innovation award in Chicago. You can vote for him. We'll put the link at the bottom of this. And why are you rushing me?
Who said I was rushing?
You say yeah, like keep it moving.
Keep it going. I said yeah.
editing Dario will put the link.
Editing Dario. It's two different brothers out here.
Dario on the field and Dario in the studio.
Actually, speaking of in the field, we are at a significant location, which we'll talk about. I
do have one other thing that I want to talk about that we touched on last episode. Is if you listen to the episode right before this one, I asked about the names of streets, and I said, I wonder if someone has the history of all the street names in Chicago. And Mike Reedy and Bernard
Turner,
we've had on this episode before, both reached out with some information.
Coins.
But Mike actually sent in a document.
Yeah, Bernard told us the book that we can get, Streetwise Chicago.
Yeah. Which is both awesome, but I have this document right in front of me. It says Chicago streets. Here's one cool thing. I'm not going to read. The document is very long. We can attach it.
All the streets in Chicago.
Yeah, if you guys want to take a look at it. But here are some cool things. Avenue is given to a title applied mostly to streets running north and south. There are exceptions. Boulevard, title given to streets where trucks over 5 tons are not permitted. Court, title given to short roadway. Parkway, title given to streets that end at a park. Place, title given to street running the half block between streets. And street is a title applied mostly to streets running east and west. There are exceptions. And it was this list of street names and street changes were compiled by William Martin in 1948.
Interesting.
It's a long.
It's with all the streets in Chicago.
It's a 164-page document.
Wow.
That's of the name of every single street in the city of Chicago.
And I'm glad we got it now. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Bernard, for that. Which brings us to Boulevard. And let's get tuned up, y'all. Let's get this little sun. I had to make sure I'm there. So let's get ready, y'all.
You're also wearing sunglasses?
Yeah, that shit don't matter. The sun. The sun.
But it's like it's darkening the screen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It is helping when I do this. Y'all, we are in Grand Boulevard, community area number 38. The boundaries to the north, 39th Street to the south, 51st Street to the east, Cottage Grove Avenue west, railroad tracks at Federal. And we are very close to Federal right now. In one of the in a significant place. I'll get to it because it's actually pretty cool. The neighborhoods: Grand Boulevard, Washington Park Court, Legend South, and Bronzeville. We'll talk about the last two. And I know you probably like Bronzeville.
Your mic.
I'm trying to hold it from stop doing that.
It was a callback. When you used to.
Roast when I used to roast you.
You still do, just about different things.
Look, here we go again. Here we go. So Bronzeville is a part of this, and I know we did Douglas, which Bronzeville's a part of that. We'll explain it in a little bit. Wow, this microphone cord.
Your hand off
this microphone cord, I hate it.
Look how I'm holding the mic.
Yeah.
Just hold it like that.
Yeah. I need somewhere to go my pinky. You know how you hold the glass and your pinky be going underneath? Hey, I know people hold their glass like that. Your pinky don't go underneath the glass, like leverage. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, you be leveraging. Look, see, it ain't me.
He doesn't want you to be great.
Anyway, the name and some history for this is pretty cool. The original name was called Forestville Settlement, and as part of the Hyde Park Township in 1861. After this area was annexed to Chicago in 1889, 1897, the South Park Commissions planned a main thoroughfare. Thoroughfare.
What is that?
Way.
Oh.
Yeah, way through from Grant Park to Washington Park. And they named it Grand Boulevard. Now, that was the street name, right? And that street name was renamed in 1928 to South Parkway.
Wow, because it ended at a park.
It ended at a park, but it was renamed again to Martin Luther King Drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in 1968. Yeah, so, and then overall, they just named the whole community area Grand Boulevard. So, there you go. That's the history of the name. Now, kind of ties into the history itself, right? This was like that thoroughfare coming from Grant Park, which is not far from here, but coming from Grant Park all the way down to basically the parks here. Some of Chicago's wealthiest people lived in this part of town, right? And on this strip, because it was horse-drawn carriages and mansions were all up and down this strip. It was just a place to be. think about Hyde Park, right? Hyde Park was the place to be, and this was kind of a connecting spot to the, especially once the South, park system got a hold of it. It was like, oh, let's connect, and keep on going to Hyde Park. That's what this was, right? So it was very elegant. A lot of people wanted to live here, and it attracted a lot of American-born residents. And I say American-born because, different things I read. It was Irish, it was German, it was Jewish, and Black in this area. So
we're very close to the Black metropolis, right?
That's what I'm going to lead into. But I specifically put that in there because the first fun fact of the episode, the first Saint Monica, what's wrong with me? Saint Monica was the first Black Catholic church in Chicago.
Wow.
And that is where we are right now. It would be right here. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I picked this location.
Wow, give me goosebumps.
Yeah. I picked that location because this is where it would have been had it still been around.
Wow.
Yeah. And the more significant about that, it was founded in 1894 by Father Augustus Tolton, who was the first Black priest in the United States.
No way.
Right here in this very spot where we are right now. Yeah.
And
so
we're just over here talking shit.
All on this holy land. So if you're watching on YouTube, here we are. We are in the first Black Catholic church, the original location. Actually, if you see right behind us, in between us right there, 36 and Dearborn, that building right there is where it says it was. You know what I mean? Like that. So that's why I faced the camera the way I did.
Gotcha.
But yeah, pretty cool though.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I'm really into that. I love this little park. We're like it's not really a cul-de-sac because it's open, but there's like a little park in between all of these houses.
Yeah.
It's such a nice little like tucked away area.
Yeah.
It's
honestly, if you wake up this every morning and just be like, I just want to come out and just chill, and they got the park benches out here,
so you just literally walk out your door,
like, and just sit and look at your crib. You know what I mean? Like, and just it's just dope.
That's why I love these. Every time someone is like moving, my brother is like thinking about moving to Chicago, and he was like, I want to live in River North. I was like, of course you do, because
because you're
in your
Chicagoan.
mind, right? Yeah. In your mind, that's all that Chicago is. But that's why I love neighborhoods,
because they're so beautiful.
Because it's like you can get people that don't live in the city assume that it's always loud and like it's too much traffic, but it's actually, you get like a neighborhood feel,
very peaceful.
But also you're in the city and nothing closes at 5.
No,
you could go outside your house after 6 o'clock.
Yeah, you can. So we're going to keep on the theme of churches here, because churches, in especially the Black community and in Chicago in general, I would say, is huge. And particularly in this community area, churches are a big deal. Corpus Christi, I'm going to name a few churches, a couple churches. Corpus Christi Church was an Irish parish in 1881. Irish families, they eventually moved away in the 20s. We know why, white flight, but they moved away and it became a segregated church for Blacks. It also became a school for Black Catholics in 1932. In 1962, it was sold and became Mount Pisgah, I don't know if somebody know how to say it, please correct me. Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church. After that, Jews moved into the area in 1890 and built the Temple Isaiah in 1899. That became the Ebenezer Baptist Church in 1921. Wow,
it's a lot of churches.
Yes, yeah, and it's so dope because those are some significant, now Black, churches in areas right here. So just to show you that how significant that was,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, churches in Chicago, are just massive. And we talked about what was it in River North? One of the first churches. It's just crazy how Chicago really ties into the rest of the world and culture. You know what I mean? One more fact before I go back, before I keep on going, about the Father Augustus Tolton. He actually his parents were slaves, like they were brought over on the boats, right?
Wow.
He went to Rome to study. Got his what do they call it, indoctrined, right? He was like,
you asking me?
Yeah, I don't know. He was official. He could be a pastor. So then he came back.
Isn't that the thing you do online and they're like,
fill out an application,
officiate a wedding?
Yeah, that's basically what he did. But
you just have to go to Rome to do it.
You just got to go to Rome, and then he came back and came for
I don't
history.
know why, but in my mind, I didn't. I associate. You know how you associate certain denominations with certain groups. So, like in my mind, everyone that's Catholic
is white.
No, is either
or Hispanic
or like Mexican.
Right? Yeah, Hispanic. Yeah,
that's all I. That's what in my brain.
But like that again. That's why we do what we do. Yeah. We put people onto the history.
I always think like the majority of black people that I've interacted with have been non-denominational.
Yeah, we screamers in church. I don't know what that is, but we just be No, let me stop. Let's keep it going. Grand Boulevard was the place to be, right? It's the place to be, and that brings us to Bronzeville.
Yeah.
Bronzeville is a very large community, neighborhood in itself. So it's in Douglas, and part of it is in where we are, Grand Boulevard, and a good portion of it is here, right? And y'all know about Bronzeville. Go back to the Douglas episode and just check it out. We actually did separate piece on Bronzeville also, so check that out. But this was also a major hotspot. The Regal Theater in 1928 was huge in the area. That's where pretty much all the legends came through. Again, Bronzeville was just the dope. It's over there in the Blues District,
right?
Which we saw, which is really dope. Ray Charles, Nat King Cole, Lena Horne, Louis Armstrong,
literally everyone.
Ella Fitzgerald, everybody.
Everyone came through here.
If you were somebody, you were there. And do you know where it was located? Is located where the current Harold Washington Cultural Center is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
what is that, 47th?
Yeah,
and MLK?
Yeah, 47th and MLK, right there. I mean, like, so dope, y'all. Like, honestly, just come out here. And that I've only been
it's like such a lively, cross, too.
Yeah, that whole strip, actually,
corner
right there.
that's a fire place to be.
So, that right there, next door to that, back in the day, speaking of lively, it being lively, was the Savoy Ballroom. And the Savoy Ballroom, in case you all are wondering, that was the birth of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Wow.
Yeah, and Harlem Globetrotters, not from New York, right here in Chicago. Most people know that, but like it's crazy that we were right there. They originally called them the Savoy Big Five. So pretty dope. One more thing before we get out of here, and talking about the area, we can't leave without talking about the Robert Taylor Homes. And the Robert Taylor Homes was a huge housing project here in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about the Robert Taylor Homes, you probably know it all as bad, right? You probably that's what you know, right? That's what the media has told you, and that's what, if you think Southside Chicago, that's what it was, right? 1920, I'm going to give you some numbers here, right? In 1920, blacks were 32% of the 77,000 residents here in Chicago, in Grand Boulevard. 1930, a decade later, they were 95% of the 87,000.
Wow.
In 1950, two decades later, they made up over 99% of the 115,000 people. So, the reason why I bring that up is because this area had physical deterioration, poverty, and no jobs. The steel workers, the industry all went down, right? And public housing came to the area to put, housing up for people, right? And that's how the Robert Taylor Homes came about, right? Mm-hmm. So when you have all those people, give some context as to why, you want to say it's bad and it's not bad. You just put people in a situation where they have no way out and no way to win. What do you expect, right? So that's where the Robert Taylor Homes came from. Now here's a crazy number. Poverty rate was 2/3 in the 90s in this area, which made this the densest population of public housing in the country.
Wow.
So when you talk about like, oh, it's bad, it's just you try to live in a house in an area with one bedroom and like 6 people,
right?
And one kitchen, one bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just small scale, but like, so let's. I think we need context as to why.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? Like, and obviously we know that.
I feel like the entire history of black people in America requires context. I would say
we do need some context. Tell me why.
Let's circle back a couple hundred years. Put some context.
Put some context to it.
You know who has some really cool art about the projects in Chicago? If you are ever in the city or if you want something to do, there's a Chicago-based artist that is at the Art Institute, and he has some great paintings up on the 3rd floor in the the United States section or the North America section.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but he has some great work on the it kind of like the feel of the projects in the 90s and the 80s in Chicago.
That would be dope to go see. Actually, I do want to go see that.
We did go see that.
Did we?
Yeah, we went up at the Art Institute.
Art Institute is a big ass place.
It's huge. We barely.
We barely made it through. A couple more things before I get out of here about the Robert Taylor homes. God, dog, this mic. I got to switch things in between. On break, I'll switch the mic cords. They were demolished in 2007, and they put neighborhood row housing and condos in the area, and that makes up the fourth community, the third one of the community areas neighborhoods I talked about, Legend South. So that's what became of it. Now we talk about community, and we talk about community as much as we can in the in these episodes here. And the Center for New Horizons is one in this area that works to help people in the area and in the community. So there you have it. There you have it, Joe. You know what? Let's hurry up and go to break because we got some more history on the food portion.
Yeah, we do.
Let's go to break. I got to switch this goddamn microphone out, and we'll be right
as we sit on the church.
Yeah, right as we sit on this holy land. We'll be back, y'all.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you'd like to learn more about any of the topics that we talked about in this episode, all you have to do is search. Just type 77 flavors and search the topic. And hopefully Dario put the correct keywords in there so the SEO will pull this shit up for you. But if you did not enjoy this, that's all right. Check back next Monday for a brand new episode on a brand new subject. We'll see you then. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy. Or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.